Welcome into the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, and we don't have any Damian Lillard updates for you guys for today's show. But one thing that I do want to do is talk about potential Max Strus replacements. Obviously, the Heat shooting guard is going to the Cleveland Cavaliers through a sign-and trade. Was actually made official a couple days ago, so Strus is officially Cavalier. And we appreciate everything Strus did for the Heat. He was a main reason why the Heat were able to make the NBA Finals this past season. But that does leave a massive hole on this Miami Heat roster. And now the Heat need a three-point specialist off the bench or even starting at that 2 spot, assuming Tyler Hero is gone. So we kind of are going to look at 5 people, 2 through the trade market and 3 through free agency that could be potential Max Strus replacements, be that shooter next to Jimmy and Bam. And assuming that Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, and Tyler Hero are all going in a Damian Lillard trade, the Heat are definitely going to need three-point shooting either to start in that 2 spot. They already have Josh Richardson, who's a solid player and a good shooter, but isn't a three-point specialist. He can shoot, and he is a capable and I'd say above average shooter, just not like the marksman X factor 3-point guy that the Heat could potentially need. So we're going to break down 5 guys that could be that in this video, and this is why you subscribe. We are bringing you videos on everything when it comes to your Miami Heat, Damian Lillard news, just overall roster news and potential roster construction. We have it all for you guys here, and even when I'm not in the office like today on a Saturday, I'm bringing you guys a video no matter what. So hit that sub button. So let's look at the first potential name, and the one I want to bring up is because the Heat have actually been linked to him before. It has been reported that the Heat could have interest in acquiring this player in a trade after the Damian Lillard trade. And that player is Landry Shamet, who was just traded to Washington as a part of that deal. I'm kind of spacing on the deal right now, but he was just traded to Washington, and the Wizards could be moving on from him as well because he's kind of like a win-now piece, right? Like, why would the Wizards need Landry Shamet when they're going to be pretty damn bad next year, right? Like, they're not trying to win in the NBA playoffs, so why not flip a very capable three-point shooter for some assets that can help you later on down the road? And something that actually really surprised me, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but Landry Shamet is only 26 years old. I was looking up his stats, looking up his bio just to get a well-rounded idea on Landry Shamet, and I thought this dude was closer to 30. Shamet's only 26. He's an absolute marksman from 3. Last season for the Phoenix Suns, that's what it was. It was in the Bradley Beal trade. Jesus, bad eye by me. But for the Suns last year, he averaged 8.7 points per game, shot 37.7% from 3. So he's very capable from shooting beyond the arc. And it just doesn't stop there at all either. Through his career, he's been in the league 6-7 years. He's a 38% three-point shooter in his career. 38.8 to be exact. This dude has an absolute stroke from beyond the arc. Pause. But he is a very good player, and assuming that the Heat do have Damian Lillard, would I slot him in as a potential starting shooting guard for the Miami Heat? Probably not, because a backcourt of Damian Lillard and Landry Shamet would be very bad defensively, but I could absolutely see him being that 6th man off the bench that is the three-point shooting specialist. Like a starting lineup of Damian Lillard, Josh Richardson at the 2, Jimmy Butler at the 3, Nikola Jovic at the 4, and Bam at the 5, with Shamet coming off the bench as the 6th man. That is very, very dangerous, and I think Shamet could be someone the Heat flip second-round picks to in order to get him after a Damian Lillard trade. Or maybe he could be included in a massive multi-team 4-5-team trade that includes Dame and Landry Shamet coming to Miami, but the Heat offering 1 or 2 second-round picks. They just got one from Cleveland for Max Strus. Maybe they take that one and another second-round pick and go out and get Landry Shamet. I think I would be all in. Let's flip it to the free agent market right now, and one name that you guys might roll your eyes on is Wesley Matthews, and it's because the dude's old, right? He's 36, 37. He doesn't have a lot left in the tank, but for a win-now team like the Miami Heat, you're going to get him on the vet min. And I know he's not a fan favorite because he has had a lot of battles with the Miami Heat and against Jimmy Butler and even against D. Wade and LeBron back in the day. Wesley Matthews was always someone that was sparking it up with Miami. But he would be a good addition. Another Marquette guy, right? Like someone who knows how the Heat play, knows the Heat culture, that Big East blood in him, because the Heat love the Big East basketball players. He played bad last year. I think it had to do a lot with his injuries. Only played in 52 games, averaged 3 points, didn't really even get that much PT in the postseason, missed some of that Heat series and came in around game 3 and 4, but for his career, he's a 37.6 3-point shooter, so he can shoot the 3-ball. And even though he is old, 36, 37, he is a very capable defender as well, and you could sub him off the bench. Now, would he be as effective as Landry Shamet? Absolutely not, but he could be someone that helps the Heat in the regular season, in the postseason. I'm looking more at the postseason, but help the Heat give 10, 12 minutes shooting defense off the bench. I think Wesley Matthews could be an interesting vet minimum option for the Miami Heat. But let me know down in the comment section. I'm going to pin this comment because I want to see who you guys want to sign. So let me know who you would sign to replace Max Strus or trade for Max Strus or trade to replace Max Strus. Let me know in the comment section. Next name on this list is going to definitely turn some heads, and it's because it is T.J. Warren. Yep, the guy that Jimmy Butler got into a pretty scrappy argument with back in 2019, 2020, and told him that he's not on his level. I would never have the other coach put him on me because it's just free buckets every time. And yes, Jimmy Butler and TJ Warren got into it, but I think Butler can also respect what T.J. Warren did, and that T.J. Warren didn't back down. Now, they did meet later that season in the bubble in the playoffs when T.J. Warren was going bubble Warren, averaging 40 points a game, and Jimmy Butler absolutely dominated him in that playoff series. But Warren can be a solid three-point guy off the bench, and he provides more size, and he can be someone who signs for the vet min. Last year, he averaged 7.5 points per game, but for his career, he's averaging 14.6 points per game. Would he do that in Miami? No. But he would be able to score off the bench. He can not even just shoot the three. He can score in the mid-range and get to the rack. He's a career 35-point or three-point shooter, so he's probably the worst on this list. But I think Warren could be an excellent scoring/shooting guy that can play the 2 or play the 3 when Jimmy Butler's sitting throughout the regular season and even for a little bit in that postseason. So TJ Warren is someone that absolutely intrigues me. Next name on this list is Terence Ross, Heat killer, former Orlando Magic guy, and we know this, he can shoot the ball. Last year, he was actually traded to the Suns halfway through the season, but he shot 36.8% from 3, averaged 8 points this game, and for his career, he's averaging a three-point efficiency of 36.2. So he can definitely shoot the ball a little bit, and he's always someone who, when he played for the Magic, was dropping 20 points against Miami. He was one of the most famous Heat killers of all time. Dude was absolutely cooking in the Heat's house, and it was just someone I've always admired because he's got that spark plug ability off the bench where he can have a bad game, but he can also go 7 for 9 from 3 and absolutely shoot you out of the gym. Terrence Ross is a backup 7th, 8th man who can come in and shoot the rock. I am very bullish on Terrence Ross. I think you get him for the vet min. I think you could sign him right now if you really wanted to, but the Heat might be holding out on any vet minimum guys because they want to see where their roster leaves them after a potential Damian Lillard trade. And to round out today's show, the final player on my list is someone they'd have to trade for, which is probably going to cost the most if you were to look at Landry Shamet's trade value and this person's name is Aaron Neismith, the former first-round pick from the Boston Celtics. I believe he was actually the 14th or 15th pick in that draft, so borderline lottery guy. He's only been in the league 2 years, but after his rookie season was traded to the Indiana Pacers in that Malcolm Brogdon deal. And Neismith definitely started playing a little bit better last year. He played 73 games. Actually, this was his third season. Played 73 games last season, 10 points a night, 42.7% from the field, and 36.6% from 3. So Neismith, who was coming out of Vanderbilt, someone who was highly touted shooter, one of the best shooting strokes in that draft class, never really put it together, but Neismith has been playing really better, or let's say he's been improving in Indiana, and I don't know if he meets their, I guess, timeline. They still have Buddy Hield. Do they move off Hield this offseason? I don't know. Or do they just relegate Hield to the bench? But Neismith isn't going to get a lot of playing time. Like, they signed Bruce Brown. The Pacers were one of that teams heavily linked to Max Strus. So what does that tell you about what they think when it comes to Aaron Neismith? They were looking for a shooter in that wing spot. So maybe Neismith is someone the Pacers don't see in their long-term plans. He could be made available for trade, and maybe Miami comes in and scoops him up for that second-round price of Landry Shamet, where you send 2 seconds. Maybe it's even 3 seconds, because I think he's only like 23 years old. He might go for more than Landry Shamet would. But Neismith is someone who intrigues me. Former fringe lottery, but middle first round guy. Could the Heat unlock his full potential that Boston saw when they took him over there at 15, 14, 16 in the NBA draft? That's going to do it for today's video. Like I said, let me know a name down in the comment section that you would like to see the Heat trade or sign to potentially replace Max Strus. So let me know in the comment section and hit that sub button, because we are not going to stop covering the Miami Heat when Damian Lillard trade does happen or doesn't happen. We'll be here throughout the NBA offseason and the entire regular season, and hopefully the NBA playoffs leading into another championship title run. So make sure you join us here at the Heat Report.